So I want to tell y'all how I developed an addiction to conviction. I even wrote it all out just so I can keep track of it. I think it started with, so I'm writing this anime and I have it based off of the book of Jubilees and the book of Enoch. So obviously that's going to make me read the Bible, which I wasn't doing at the time. So I had to learn the Bible. And then I'm like, wow, there's a lot of stuff that I'm missing basically. So I just started reading freely now. I'm not just reading the New or the Old Testament. I'm reading the whole Bible now. And then I developed um, a bit of jealousy. People around me were like, or like people that I knew, or even online, they're having visions and dreams, or God's talking to them directly. And the only time I ever really feel that, some type of something like that, is when God talks through me to people. He does that a lot, and I could feel it like in the moment, but that's the only time I could ever really feel it in the moment, or like wake up next morning and understand what's happening. That never happens to me, at least from what I remember. So my first step was basically to want more intimacy with God, which is why I started to read more of the Bible, beyond Enoch and Jubilees. And then I read how in James 4 and 8 it says, "Draw near to God, and He will draw near to you." So that's what I did. I read in Proverbs how He said He loves those who loves Him, and those who seek Him diligently, which basically means constantly, will find Him. So that's what I did. I prayed and I fasted, and I prayed and I fasted. And I started to recognize His presence. Those, like, if you don't know, it's like a goosebumpy feeling. Like I don't really know how to explain it beyond that, but it's like a really good feeling. It's not cold. It's just goosebumps, like joyful goosebumps in a way. So that intimacy went to me. Now that I'm reading the Bible, I'm like, I I want to please Him a lot more because I'm reading about it. I'm reading about because the entire Bible is really mainly about ways to please God, even beyond His commandments. So um, I think the desire and intimacy, it led to me wanting to please God, and then that led to me praying differently. Now I'm always an honest person, so I'm gonna be even just as honest with God. And the last step to get addicted to conviction was to be humble in God's presence, which was probably the easiest part of this whole process for me. Because we like to pray, these vain repetitions of prayer where we're saying the same thing every single prayer. And it says in Matthew 6, 7, and 8 that God knows what you need before you even ask Him. So just say exactly what's on your heart. You're trying to hide things from God, trying to hide sins from God. He knows already. He knew before you even did it. So when you humble yourself before God, um, he he tends to move a little faster. In my experience, he tends to move a little faster. Not even necessarily where he's solving things, but you feel him a lot more intensely. Um, Proverbs 28 and 13 says, "He who conceals his sins doesn't prosper, but whoever confesses and renounces them finds mercy." So that was all I needed. And when you're humble, it produces joy when you're humble. So I think that kind of led to my addiction to conviction, where um, now when I'm reading my Bible, I'm reading it to understand. I'm reading it to study it, but I'm also reading it to find ways to convict myself. Um, I want to know what I could work on. Obviously, none of us can be perfect. We're not getting into heaven just off of good deeds and being a good person. That doesn't exist. Okay, you get there by God's mercy. None of us are eligible to be, quite frankly. But God said that we're all enough. We're all worthy. We just have to choose Him at the end of the day. So yeah, I think that my addiction to conviction has made me has I guess I think I feel good about it. Like I don't have any more worries anymore. Like things happen, you know, life isn't perfect, and I might wallow in it for like a minute or so, but after that I'm like, man, I don't care. You feel me? Like I think one day I realized that like one day, like maybe like a year ago, I was struggling with money and I was just like randomly, I was just like, man, God is bigger than all of this. And I haven't stressed about money ever since, whether I got it or I don't, you know? So I applied that to everything in my life. And now this addiction to conviction has made me not wallow in my sins that I do commit whenever I do fall, because none of us are perfect. And it's helped me to get right back up, because you know we fall 7 times, we get back up. It helped me get back up without any hassle. Like I'm getting back up instantly. I already know that He forgives me, and I'm just gonna work on not doing it again, type of thing. You know, like so. Yeah.